My friend, how are you today? Is everything okay? Right now, if you're tired, if you're carrying something heavy in your heart, give yourself a small moment of stillness. There are days when you try so hard to be kind. You hold back a sentence so you won't hurt someone. You help people when they need it. You don't want to harm anyone. And yet, life still throws things at you that feel so hard to understand. An unexpected upheaval, a loss, an injustice, a pain that lingers. And then you find yourself asking, why do bad things happen to good people? Why, even when I've tried to live kindly, does life still test me like this? If you've ever asked those questions, you're not weak. You're simply human, trying to make it through a difficult stretch of life. Today, I don't want to give you an answer, just to wrap it up. I want to sit with you, like a real friend, and together look at what the Buddhas saw and taught, and walk with the spirit of walk for peace. No arguments, no slogans, just steady, gentle footsteps, reminding us that peace doesn't arrive when life has no storms. Peace arrives when we learn to stand steady right in the middle of the storm. On the night of his awakening, the first thing the Buddha realized was this: life includes suffering. Suffering isn't a punishment for bad people, and it isn't reserved for good people either. It's something ordinary that everyone meets in the course of living. It's just that when suffering touches us, we often experience it as something abnormal, something unfair. We think, why me? And pain can make the whole world shrink until it feels like it's only us and this wound. But the Buddha taught that when we see suffering as a natural part of life, we stop being intimidated by it. We begin to find room to breathe and a path forward. Think about how this shows up in everyday life. When you lose a job, you might tell yourself, I'm not good enough. When someone you love betrays you, you might think, I was so foolish. When illness appears, you might feel, maybe life is punishing me. But when you look more deeply, you may see that job loss can come from the economy, layoffs, or an industry changing. Betrayal can come from someone's immaturity or unresolved pain. Illness can come from genetics, environment, habits, and so many other causes. Not everything that happens is something you deserved. Some things are simply how life moves. Let me share the mustard seed story from the time of the Buddha. A young mother lost her child. She loved her baby so much that she couldn't accept death. She carried the child from place to place, searching for a healer, searching for a miracle, but no one could bring the dead back to life. At last, she came to the Buddha. He said, all right, I will help you, but first bring me a handful of mustard seeds from a household where no one has ever died. The mother surged of hope. She thought, mustard seeds, that should be easy. She went to the first home and asked for mustard seeds. They were ready to give them, but she asked, has anyone in this family ever died? They answered, yes, my uncle passed away last year. She fell silent and went to the second home. Someone had died there too. The third home, again, the same. She walked through the whole village, and the only answer she kept hearing was, yes, someone has died. Until she understood, not through logic, but through something deep touching her heart. Oh, death didn't come only to my child. This pain wasn't her personal story alone. It was part of the human condition. She returned to the Buddha to thank him, because he didn't only heal her child, he healed her heart. Do you see? Sometimes what breaks us isn't only the event itself, but the feeling, I'm the only one carrying this. When we realize suffering is universal, we stop feeling personally targeted, and the heart begins to have space to rise again. The spirit of Walk for Peace is very much like that lesson. Each step is a quiet reminder You are not alone. No need to talk too much. No need to prove anything. Just keep going, slowly, mindfully, and kindly. In Buddhism, there is a very practical truth. No one can escape impermanence. Health changes, work changes, relationships change, even your mood changes. You can feel okay in the morning, and by afternoon you're overwhelmed for reasons you can't even name. The real question becomes this: when impermanence arrives, does your mind get swept away? Walk for Peace doesn't teach you to beg life, please stop making things hard. It teaches you, even when life is hard, I can still walk. Walk with mindfulness. Walk with compassion. Walk with understanding. And it begins with something simple and honest. No denial, no sugarcoating, no pretending. When you're hurt by someone's words, instead of forcing yourself to say, I'm fine, it's nothing, speak gently to yourself. I'm hurting. I'm sad. I'm disappointed. When you name what you feel, it stops controlling you as much. That is mindfulness, knowing clearly what is present within you. In the Four Noble Truths, after recognizing suffering, we look into the causes of suffering. And the cause is not always because I'm not good enough. Often it's expectation, clinging, misunderstanding, or circumstances. When you suffer because someone doesn't love you the way you want, look closely. You may be clinging to an image of how they should be. When you suffer because you're being compared, look closely. You may be clinging to the need to be validated. Not to blame yourself, but to understand, this is where I'm stuck. And only when you understand can you loosen your grip. When your mind feels tangled, try this small walk for peace ritual. Relax your shoulders. Breathe in slowly. I am breathing in. Breathe out long. I am breathing out. Walk 10 slow steps. For the first 5 steps, simply feel your feet touching the ground. For the next 5 steps, repeat quietly in your mind. Peace, step by step. Peace, right here. You don't need to be free of pain in 2 minutes. You only need to not let pain take the wheel. When you're arguing with someone you love, your heart races, your face heats up, words rush to the edge. You can simply say, give me 2 minutes. Step away, breathe, walk, then come back. Often those 2 minutes can save an entire relationship. And here's something many people misunderstand. Compassion is a skill, not a mood. In Buddhism, compassion doesn't mean being nice so others can trample you. Compassion means not adding more suffering for yourself or for anyone else. If someone hurts you, compassion doesn't force you to forget immediately. Compassion means you don't use your pain as a weapon for revenge. You set clear boundaries, and if you can, you see that the other person may also be acting out of ignorance, out of their own suffering. You can walk away without hatred. That is freedom. In this life, it isn't only bad things that happen to good people. Good things also come to good people. And sometimes good things come to people who aren't good, and bad things come to people who are. Because the world doesn't run on a simple moral scorecard. But you are not powerless. You can choose not to let suffering turn you bitter. You can choose not to let hardship steal your kindness. You can keep walking, slowly if you need to, but in the right direction. Just like those who walk for peace, the road doesn't become easier because you pray. The road becomes more bearable when you learn how to walk. Walk with the breath. Walk with mindfulness. Walk with a heart that doesn't abandon itself. My friend, if today you're still carrying a quiet sadness you can't quite explain, remember this. You are not alone, and you don't have to have everything figured out to be at peace. You only need to begin again, with one breath, with one step. May you be strong enough to face every challenge. May you be mindful enough not to hurt yourself further. And may peace, not as a distant miracle, but as something you can touch, be present in this life, in this day, in every breath and every step. Namo Buddhaya.